Hello. Today we'll be talking about the respiratory system. So basically, the main function of the respiratory system is to deliver oxygen to the cells of the body and to take out CO2, which is the bad stuff out of the body. First, air enters through the body, through the nose and the mouth. And in the nose, you have hairs that filter out the bad stuff, so it does not get into your body because you don't like bad stuff in your body. Alright. Also, in the nose, there's a mucus-covered membrane which helps to warm and moisten the air once it enters. After the nasal cavity, it passes
with the pharynx. It starts just behind the nasal cavity, under the skull. It runs down behind the nasal cavity, which is the nasopharynx. It runs down behind the oral cavity, which is your mouth, if you didn't know that, and that's called the oropharynx. And then it runs down the larynx, which is called the laryngopharynx, which is a mouthful, trust me. After that, after you go through the 3 stages of the pharynx, you get to the larynx, which is a completely different part of the airway. It's also known as the voice box. Helps you go from high to low.
The basic function of respiration is to breathe and keep oxygen flowing through your body so you stay alive.
The respiratory zone is where the business of respiration really takes place.
External respiration is the actual exchange of gases between the alveoli and the blood. Internal respiration is the gas exchange process that occurs between the systematic capillaries and tissue cells. The route of air from the external nares to an alveolus goes external nares to the pharynx, to the larynx, to the trachea, to the bronchi, to the bronchioli, to the alveoli.
Beginning part of the respiratory system that is involved in inhalation. During breathing, air enters the nose by passing through the external nares. The interior of the nose is divided by a midline nasal septum. The mucous membrane protects from infection and other diseases. Anteriorly, where the palate is supported by bone, is the hard palate, and posteriorly is the soft palate. The internal nares are inside, and vestibule is as well. The pharynx has 3 regions: the nasopharynx, the oropharynx, and the laryngopharynx. The nasopharynx is where air and secretions from the nose travel through the passageway and connects with the oropharynx. The mucus layer in the oropharynx traps any large particles in the air that we breathe. The laryngopharynx is a common pathway that allows both air as well as food to pass through to the lungs and stomach.
Trachea is the main conduit of air to and from the lungs. It is surrounded by C-shaped cartilaginous rings around smooth muscle. The ciliated columnar tissue helps with movement for air passage.
Wake up in the morning feeling like I can breathe. My medulla oblongata took a break in my sleep. So I take a deep breath in to inhale some oxygen. No, I am not a fish. I have no gills or no fins, cause oxygen goes down my nose, sending air down my throat. Let me stop and make one note. The throat is called the pharynx. The air goes down the windpipe. That trachea keeps the air tight, sending it to the bronchi. The alveoli makes a gas exchange between the blood and air. By diffusion happens in the lungs, and yes, it's very fair. I'll take oxygen and put back CO2 into the air. Breathe in respiratory, breathe out respiratory. Viola makes the gas exchange between the blood and air. By diffusion happens in the lungs, and yes, it is fair. I'll take oxygen and put back CO2 into the air. Breathe in respiratory, breathe out respiratory. Stop and listen, because that is not it. I breathe in through my nose and send it down to the pharynx. It goes through my trachea and into my bronchi. It reaches the alveoli and oxygen says bye, cause it goes to the blood. Carbon dioxide comes up. The cilia cleans this stuff. It makes me cup. Thanks for listening to my story about my respiratory and how I felt that morning.